The arena in Las Vegas was a coliseum of chaos, 18,000 fans roaring under a ceiling of blazing lights. The Global Combat Alliance, GCA, a fictional MMA promotion, was hosting its biggest event of the year, GCA 200, a card stacked with intense matchups. The co-main event had the crowd on edge, a welterweight clash between a grizzled veteran and a brash young star named Bryce "Blaze" Carter. At 25, Carter was a Texas-born knockout artist, 13-0, with fists like sledgehammers and a trash-talking game that lit up the internet. Tonight, he was gunning for more than just a win. He was about to set his sights on a legend. Cage side, in the VIP section, sat Jason Statham. The action star was no stranger to fight nights, his passion for combat sports etched into his DNA. At 57, Statham was still a specimen, lean, muscled, his black hoodie stretched tight over a physique sculpted from years of training in kickboxing and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. His shaved head gleamed under the arena lights, and his eyes, sharp as a blade, tracked every move in the cage. Fans nearby whispered, pointing out the guy who'd made his action films feel like real brawls. Statham wasn't here for selfies, he was here for the fight game. Carter's walkout was pure swagger, his team waving a Texas flag as he strutted to the cage, a silver chain bouncing on his chest. He'd been hyping this fight for weeks, calling his opponent washed up and promising to end his career. But as he reached the cage, his gaze locked onto Statham in the crowd. A sly grin spread across his face. He snatched the announcer's mic, his voice booming through the arena. "Yo, Jason Statham." Carter shouted, pointing at the actor. "Mr. Hollywood tough guy, sittin' there like you're some kind of fighter. You think you can throw down for real? Step in this cage, and I'll show you what a Texas beatdown feels like." The crowd erupted, half cheering, half stunned, the energy electric. Carter tossed the mic, shadowboxed for the cameras, and yelled, "Come on, movie star. Let's see if you're legit." The internet buzzed, fans posting about the challenge. Statham didn't blink. His face was stone, but his eyes narrowed, a spark of defiance flickering. The crowd waited, expecting him to laugh it off. Instead, he leaned forward, hands clasped, and gave Carter a slow, deliberate nod, like a man who'd just been handed a challenge he couldn't ignore. The arena went wild. Backstage, GCA President Jack Russo was in a panic, torn between the risk and the viral potential. "This kid's either crazy or a genius," he muttered to his team, already seeing dollar signs. Carter's fight was a war. The young Texan was a tornado, crisp jabs, a thunderous overhand right, and a spinning elbow that rocked his opponent in the first round. The veteran fought back, landing a solid knee to Carter's ribs that made him grimace. The crowd roared, and by the third round, Carter caught his opponent with a clean head kick. The ref dove in, KO, 205, round 3. The arena shook, fans chanting, "Blaze! Blaze!" as Carter climbed the cage, pounding his chest like a king that he wasn't done. Grabbing the mic again, he pointed at Statham. "Yo, Jason. I just smoked this guy, and you're next. Step up, Hollywood, or keep hidin'." The crowd was mayhem, some chanting for Statham to answer, others screaming for Carter to chill. Russo rushed cage side, pulling Statham aside. "Man, you don't gotta do this. He's 13-0, a damn machine." Statham's jaw tightened, his voice low. "Get me gloves, a mouthpiece, and 5 minutes to warm up." The arena parted as Statham stood, peeling off his hoodie to reveal a black tank top hugging his chiseled frame. Every step to the cage was measured, his presence quieting doubters. Backstage, fighters crowded around monitors, whispering, "This guy's got guts." Carter, still hyped from his win, bounced in the cage, smirking but with a flicker of unease. He'd expected Statham to duck, not walk straight into the fire. The ref, after a tense huddle with Russo, approved a one-round exhibition, 3 minutes, no judges, just a test of heart. Statham strapped on MMA gloves, his movements calm, precise. He'd trained with top coaches, sparred with pros in gritty gyms, and spent decades making his fight scenes look real by living them. But this was the cage, where one mistake meant lights out. Carter, sweat dripping, grinned. "You're done, old man." The bell rang. Carter came out hot, throwing a jab-cross combo aimed at Statham's head. But the actor was ready, his footwork was textbook, slipping the punches with a grace that screamed experience. He countered with a low kick that cracked against Carter's thigh, making the fighter wince. The crowd roared, chanting, "Jason! Jason!" as Statham ducked a wild hook and snapped a jab into Carter's nose. It wasn't Hollywood, it was raw, and Statham was holding his own. Carter, frustrated, surged forward, unloading a flurry of punches. Statham absorbed a glancing shot to the shoulder, his training kicking in as he parried and weaved, keeping his cool. He landed a teep kick to Carter's midsection, pushing him back, then followed with a sharp elbow that grazed the Texan's cheek. The crowd was deafening, fans on their feet as the actor fought like he'd been born for this. Carter shot for a takedown, aiming to slam Statham to the mat and end it. But Statham sprawled, his hips low, stuffing the attempt with a move straight out of a jiu-jitsu seminar. He spun Carter into the cage, driving a knee into the fighter's thigh, the impact echoing that a small cut opened above Statham's eye from a stray elbow. He wiped it, unfazed, his eyes locked on Carter. The Texan, frustrated, threw a spinning back fist, desperate to land something big. Statham ducked, his reflexes razor-sharp, and countered with an uppercut that caught Carter's chin. The fighter stumbled, eyes wide, as the arena exploded. Statham didn't swarm, he stepped back, hands up, letting Carter recover. It wasn't about finishing him, it was about respect. With seconds left, Carter charged, throwing a wild haymaker. Statham sidestepped, landing a crisp body shot that made Carter gasp. The bell rang, and the arena was a madhouse, fans screaming like they'd just seen a championship upset. Carter, panting, stared at Statham, his cockiness replaced by a grudging nod. Statham offered a handshake. Carter took it, muttering, "Didn't expect that, man." Statham, sweat streaking his face, smirked. "Next time, pick your fights better." As Statham walked out, the crowd chanted his name like he was the main event. Russo was already pitching a streaming special, Statham's Cage Night. But for Jason, it wasn't about the spotlight. He'd grown up tough, diving for Britain's national team, scrapping his way into Hollywood when no one believed in him. Carter's taunts had hit a nerve, not about ego, but about the fire he'd carried since he was a kid in London, proving himself against bigger, stronger, louder opponents. He'd stepped into the cage, faced a beast, and walked out taller. Backstage, Carter sat with his team, icing his chin, scrolling the internet. The clips were everywhere, Statham's uppercut, his slick footwork, the knee that rocked Carter. Fans called it the gutsiest moment in fight history. Carter posted, "Big respect to at Jason Statham. Dude's legit." Still the blaze, though. Statham, cleaning his cut in a quiet corner, saw the post and chuckled. He didn't respond, he didn't need to. The next day, sports bars from Miami to Seattle were buzzing. Kids in gyms mimicked Statham's uppercut, calling it the Statham Special. Carter's career soared, his newfound humility winning over fans who'd called him arrogant. Statham, back on set for his next action flick, carried a quiet pride. He hadn't just survived the cage, he'd owned it, not as a movie star, but as a man who'd earned every cheer. The story spread like wildfire. Fans debated who'd won the exhibition, but those in the arena knew the truth. Statham had shocked them all, not with punches, but with the courage to step into a world where most would crumble. It wasn't just a fight, it was a moment that redefined what it meant to be a fighter. And for Statham, it was personal. He'd faced the doubters his whole life, on the streets, in the dive pool, in Hollywood. This was just another round, and he'd come out swinging.